为了纪念乌克兰天堂的白人。每次完成对人物的观察后，好快！证据先要进行偶尔调查特点。OK， 彼得的命运，错过重要的对话内容，可以打开事件簿重新阅览对话。这好多了，这就是我需要的。按下 F1 可以让你发现游戏操作的方法，或是互动说明。OK， 贴心哦。哇，走路好生硬哦。福尔摩斯。
Holmes, will you stop that?
这是什么熊头
You are utterly mad.
竟然是这样的游戏吗
Stop, Holmes!
Is that you, Watson?
华
Yes,
生
of course it is. And you almost killed me.
福尔摩斯好像都跟
Nonsense.
华
I
生一
was
起
aiming
哦。
for the vases.
Blindfolded.
Watson, quiet, please. I'm trying to concentrate.
福尔摩斯自信的脚步，手铐声，警员，无需第9步。
Ah, Lestrade. What is it this time?
哦，
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's
他
a
靠
good one,
听
Mr.
东
Holmes.
西分辨是
Gentleman
谁
by。the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
A sailor, most
这个
probably.
字幕大小我很喜欢哦，很大。
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all week. A grateful client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Am I the only sane one here?
I suppose that Watson is
我
right,
是唯一的正
Inspector.
常人。
A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Give me half an hour to prepare, Inspector.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The Medi Men struck again.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve. I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
I should help Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I shall go alone then.
哦，按 Tab 以打开事件簿专辑。哦，调查凯瑞的凶杀案，调查伍德曼庄园的犯罪现场，去衣柜挑一件衣服。哇！ 哦，这个很赞哦，有点晕。话说维克有看过《新世纪福尔摩斯》吗？还真的没有诶。就像衣柜的哦，对对。
Oh, what a mess! What a terrible mess!
这不是衣柜吗？不是啊，你不是要穿衣服吗？
A map of London and the surrounding area. It could be useful.
You go along to Peter Carey's house. Mrs. Hudson and I will take care of the mess you've made here.
对，艾文有看过了，看过几集，蛮好看的。
This is where I keep my post.
完了，
My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
那他不叫我换衣服，奇怪。对啊，他叫我去衣柜挑衣服。哦，还是这个才是我的衣柜，不是吧？班奈迪克，哦，它是很多，所以它是很哦，说不定我会很有兴趣，我觉得，说不定。哎呦，奇异博士，你挑衣服哦，水手服，无纽扣的衣服，哎呦。便服，怎么感觉便服最不便服啊？维克肯定是穿哇哦，对啊，是哇哦！请问这是我还没解锁的意思吗？还会有这个眼镜也太刻板了吧！哇，我是觉得不要了。OK， 直接在房间里面长头发，吓死谁？那么我先走喽，拜拜。太错了。众所皆知，竟然还特别做这个过场动画，不是我说你这个过场动画就 OK， 就直接 loading 了。
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
Come on. T。哦，有脚印。这个人好怪。
These footprints appear to be quite large.
为什么？
Mr. Holmes? Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Holmes?
It seems that the garden was well maintained. These footprints appear to be quite large.
我可以跑，可以跑就好。
well maintained.
好吧。
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him.
怎么感觉有可能是这个
I'll
女
wait for
生
you
呢
in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
不寻常的事情。
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard anything
太小声吗？
unusual upon the night of the murder?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream. But I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
哦，常常喝醉。
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed
凌
the
晨
cabin
2点
door
到
was
早上7
open,
点。
but I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared
觉
to
得应该类
glance
似，
into the
对啊，
door
就是这
and
样子问人调查，然后判断。
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh no,
这
I
样
don't
子比较
think
不会
so.
不
I mean,
无
he
聊了。
didn't really have many friends. He lived quite an isolated life here after his retirement.
只是这个脸可以不用特写这么近，有点晕。
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after it?
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it
应
himself.
该会，他应该要分析的事情比较多。哦，哪里口嘞？哦，哦，等一下。 哦，这太可疑了吧！鸟屋。
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey.
侦
Nevertheless,
探
I
应该比
believe
较
it will
难，
be
侦
less
探
of
应
a
该是
burden
很多
for
东西
you
都要靠自己
soon.
推敲。
Yes, life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
你怎么知道？我怎么知道？等一下，我怎么知道？你怎么知道？我看一下，它变得不一样了，不是吗？和你从毛利不是普利茅斯回来第一次见到他的时候，第一次见到他的时候，为什么？我怎么知道？这个一定不是吗？我是不是还有的没有问呢、啊？
Never mind.
我应该还没问完。
Thank you, madam.
真的，其实我不知道。你不能践踏他们的草原。这里有个这个了。
Mr. Holmes?
因为现在他们是没有别的话可以讲的吗？
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin. We took care not to touch anything.
OK。
Mr. Holmes?
那我不能进去哦，我不能看哦。什么？我不能看吗？我的权力这么小吗？就现在那到底是什么可怕的声音啊？是跟我讲线索在这吗？完了。
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
哇，只有那里有欸。真的怎么办？
These footprints.
操作太不明确了。不是，我不想要那里用猜的，你知道，因为感觉就不是用猜的啊，感觉还没有问到啊。我以为我可以看尸体耶。我竟然不能看尸体是怎么样？
Thank.
他是一个虔诚的信徒。哦，不是，我想说，会不会是那个脚印是别人的，然后表示他有招待别人？这也太多虫子了吧！我都快疯了。因为我不知道猜错会怎么样，不然我也是挺想用猜的。
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin. We took care not to touch anything.
哦，白痴哦，这有可以开门呐、不在上面，在下面呐、
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it.
搞什么？
I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Ah, good thinking.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see.
干嘛？我该不会要当锁匠吧？门。哦，
These scratches are fresh. You're right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Our mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool.
哦，尸体不见了吗？我靠，是这种游戏是不是？
What a terrible way to die. The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884.
哦，是船长
Peter
哦。
Carey was her captain. This place is not covered with dust, like the rest of the shelf. An object was taken from here. It was larger
侦
than
探
a
模
book,
式可以让你将物体
box or a small chest, perhaps.
有东西被偷了。
Old navigation instruments, nothing interesting. Peter Carey's boots. They look to be a size 8. Harpoons for hunting whales. This place is not covered. An object was... Someone drank from this glass recently. The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work. This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must construct my associations in one picture.
哇塞！这里有个烟斗嘛，所以感觉快要拼成一个船了。我靠！它也有连什么东西耶？对啊，可是我靠，这也可以动！哇哦！好嘞，想想，应该是这边看的。这样子，这样子，这样，好，这样，这样有了吧？哦，有了。
Yes, this is a coarse tobacco, quite strong and very popular among sailors.
谢喽。
Rum, a sailor's drink. It seems that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death.
The
weapon fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense. This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong. JHN are probably the initials of the owner of this notebook. JH
竟然不能翻开吗 ？OK。
The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor prior to the
好
crime.
哦，拼了这么久，告诉我烟草是
Blood after the death.
烟草来自哪里呀、
This blood is from the pool underneath the dead body. This wooden handle is plain and solid. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not succeed. Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer.
应该都调查了。
The Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded.
你会发现这个超烂的，这其实根本就看不到什么。
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain. Dundee. Hammerfest. It's a whaling map.
"这个到底是什么意思？哦，
These boots don't match the
不是他
footprints.
的。
Have you finished inspecting the crime scene?
这个我很不懂，它是要什么意思欸？刚刚黑白就是这个啊，但是这个不知道是怎么样。是我要找到这个箱子在哪里吗？
The tooth of a sperm whale, probably from one of Peter Carey's catches.
对，但是没有，应该是被偷走了，就是被进来的那个人偷走。显然这里还有东西没有调查到。
Peter Carey was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon.
哦，现在又可以打开了，刚刚都打不开。
These abbreviations mean something, but what?
B 发现关联的物体有这里，所以红色表示无关联，被钉在墙上。 JHN 的。
Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry.
设下埋伏。OK。
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky.
And why is that?
Because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oh, you've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha! So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us.
但我还是想要去找那个他老婆。
Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be, but he hadn't smoked in a very long time.
他已经很久没有抽烟了。
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger
just
than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes. Life with Peter was never...
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh, my goodness, but how do you know about that?
“普利茅斯”到底是什么？我现在还没调查到。
Never mind. Thank you, madam.
普利茅斯是一个地点吧？对，我觉得这里还不行。他应该会有一个什么，比如说他们的日记之类的。好，我们就先设陷阱吧。
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
后方的窗户边上。
This looks like the perfect hiding
妥协
place.
咯，好像蛮不明显的呢。一定很不明显。你们认真吗？
Shh. Did you hear that?
不是，
There's someone there.
你们这
I'm gonna collar
你
him.
们这样讲，最好
I'll
听
be
不到
right
了。
behind you.
Police! Hold it right there.
再扯一点啊！
Mr. Holmes. All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
谁会说自己是杀人犯？
And what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter
他的
Carey,
手
but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't...
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't...
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
What? But you can't! I'm not... It's a terrible mistake!
Enough. You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But...
In light of recent events, it seems evident that your coming here was unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
You are welcome, Inspector, but please don't be too hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.
这有点不讲理耶，其实。
Mr. Holmes? Good morning, Mr. Holmes. Can I help you?
Good morning, Constable. I would like to speak to the fellow who was arrested at Woodman's Lee last night.
Ah, the young man. He's waiting in the interrogation room. You can go straight through. His belongings are held in the evidence room.
Thank you.
是啊，我就当直接随便进来啊。
These are the suspect's belongings. A pocket knife. It was used to force the door of Peter Carey's cabin. A handkerchief with the initials
Oh.
JHN. To my friend and partner, 1883. From R. Dawson. Dawson. I've seen this name before. Perhaps my
Dawson.
archive holds the answer. The notebook that we found on Peter Carey's cabin floor. These abbreviations mean something, but what? These are the suspect's belongings.
我其实不知道这路在哪里，只是我乱走的。好像走到不对的地方了，大家会觉得吗？
Locked. Does this notebook belong to you?
Yes. But where did you find it?
Oh.
I did not know. I thought I'd lost it at the hotel.
What do these abbreviations mean?
Oh, no. I beg you, I can't. If I told you, it would only make things worse.
But I will find out eventually, Mr. Nelligan. The sea knife was found near Carey's body. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, did Mr. Carey try to defend himself or to attack you with it?
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
The police seized this valuable ring from you. Whose is it?
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
The ring's date of engraving is many years ago. You would have been a child then, hardly in any position to receive such an item from a partner.
等等，这个是短袖吗？短袖。那个叫短袖吗？差一个哦，他眼睛很凶。对，他补丁，但是他要穿超贵。
So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
父亲的外套衫，什么东西呀？戒指是我的。
No, Mr. Nelligan. I believe that the ring had belonged to your father.
Oh, but how do you know?
The jacket you are wearing is made of an expensive fabric that only a man of exceptional wealth could afford. You do not seem to me to be a rich man, Mr.
这个联想性要这么大
Furthermore,
哦。
the garment is ill-fitting. It is quite clear that it belonged to someone else, most probably your father. With your father gone and taking with him the family's wealth, as a little boy you had to find yourself a manual job, and it was most probably cleaning fish. You cut your hands often while working. I can tell from the scars.
I'm speechless, Mr. Holmes. It all happened exactly as you say.
Well, I will see you soon, young man.
Please let me go. I'm innocent.
刚刚那个不算证据吗？ 哦，尝试闯入。我们刚才是这个跟这个吗？哦，它可以是一个一个抽丝剥茧诶。
I'm sure that Watson would be happy to oblige.
What am I doing here? I've done nothing.
哇塞，这个是一个大游戏耶！等于说，我要一个一个去尝试它的可能性呢。
These are the suspect's belongings. These abbreviations.
Mr. Holmes?
哇塞！第一个案件就要这样子东跑西跑哎，还推理空间，所以还可以别的吗？你们觉得是哪个没有园丁？那肯定跟没有园丁没有关系。等一下。所以没有园丁一定没关系嘛？那就试着结合。这两个我们刚才也用过了吗？这只能印类的，它还有。OK， 所以已经没有关系。丢失的铁盒跟园丁都没有关系了。花生不是在这吗？啊，花生在这。
A spot of whaling, Watson. Would you care to take part?
Are you serious?
No, but we
应
do
该有
need to clarify
剧
what
情进行
happened
下去就是
with
对了
Peter's
啦。
murder.
A reenactment, then? Is something bothering you?
The sailor's knife, Watson. Why was it on the floor?
Peter Carey attempted to defend himself?
It is possible. But if that is the case, then it alters many things.
I don't quite follow you.
Tell me, my friend, what is the animal closest to man, morphologically, I mean?
猴子。
Ah, I see what you're getting at, Holmes. You asked me that once before. On the Ripper
But I
case, I
was-
believe. Do you want to slit some more pigs' throats?
No.
Well, thank goodness for that.
I wish to impale one with a harpoon.
Wonderful.
Watson, let us pay a visit to our butcher friend in Whitechapel. We require the carcass of a well-fed pig.
And the harpoon?
One of the harpoons on the wall of Black Peter's cabin should do quite nicely. I need to take a harpoon with me.
要回去他的小屋。哇，一环扣一环耶，各位。这个也有的玩。人不见了。
That should do it. Now I am ready for the experiment.
我想知道，如果去那边硬选一个，比如说抽烟那个，不知道会怎么样。
You have indeed.
Yes.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
Huh?
You have indeed suffered.
Yes.
He was different, wasn't he,
Fin
when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
好，那大概还没出来。
You have
其他的
indeed
我觉得都
suffered
不
a
对
great
啊，
deal.
其
He
他的
was
跟
different,
其他的
wasn't he,
朝圣那个都
when
是
you
他，不
first
是吗？
met him upon your
跟
return
被害
from
者没有
Plymouth?
关系。
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
应该我们还没找到证据，我觉得。朝圣是他吧？然后烟袋也不是受害者情报，灰尘的轮廓，我最好从灰尘的轮廓知道啦。那一定不是了，应该还没找到答案。
You have indeed. He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
Never.
Never mind。
Thank you, madam.
好吧。然后我要去猪肉店。哇哦 ，pork。
Well, here we are in the preparation room. I can't say that I like the smell of it much. What do you intend to do?
To indulge myself in a little experiment. The challenge of lancing a pig's carcass with a heavy harpoon.
A little experiment?
Stand aside, Watson. This might be dangerous. I am not well practiced in this exercise, yet.
我没怎么练过，危险。
Holmes, you should aim for the mark in order to perform the most reliable test.
等一下，等一下，他那个好贱，他好飘哦。
The harpoon has struck the body, but with insufficient strength to pierce it straight through.
有了。
This is the best possible result that I could get. Do you see, Watson? Throwing a harpoon and pinning a man to a wall requires either exceptional strength and training or diabolical luck.
If it was luck, then it was a chance in 1,000 that night.
Well,
而是先
yes.
杀死
Let us leave
才
now.
刺上去的吗？
All right. But before we go, I suppose I'll have to pay for all these carcasses you've happily mangled.
Very well, but please hurry.
Of course.
请先买单。力量需求。不可能是运气好，还是你们觉得是运气好？嗯。这边已经没了。你有园丁跟尝试闯入都没了。所以没有线索了，线索断了。我运气好可以连出去啊。所以表示我还要再去找线索了。
What am I doing? What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
These are the suspect's belongings.
我们要解除这个缩写。哦，这个有需要动脑。
Good gracious, you caught someone. At least now you have a suspect. Good gracious, you caught someone.
我有抓到嫌犯吗？我怎么自己都不知道？
These footprints.
哦，证据我不是已经用过了吗？
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain.
需要证据。对啊，这个声音只有我总觉得这里很怪。对，我觉得我们硬页看看好了，我看一下这里全选的话，看有没有办法选出来。我觉得可能是卡在这里，目前只看起来只有这里没有在那个。我看一下，对，浮雕是他的嘛？他是不知道圣经。园艺手套鸟屋，所以。
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
好，那升庭院了嘛？所以庭院不是表示我们的东西没有找到。
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
还是吵死。
You have. He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
You undertook a pilgrimage
什么？
to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much is
跟他有什
evident
么
from
关
the
系？
rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to
屁
Spain
啊！这
was
最
from
好知
Plymouth.
道，这我最好
I
知
believe
道，
that you met Peter Carey as a young
我
sailor
最
there,
好知
and you
道。
married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How
谢
extraordinary.
喽，我怎么知道？
Thank you, madam.
Who could...
地理专家。听他有点稍微。他说，他变得不一样了，不是吗？和你从普回来第一次见到他的时候，所以是被害者不一样了。可是他的解释是，你年轻的时候经历过去然后朝圣之旅，然后去他这个完全没有关系啊。所以他哪里不一样了？What the fuck？ 发，翻译问题吧。切换人物，帮助。 对，应该是翻译问题，感觉刚刚那个完全没有关系。但我也没有别的线索嘞。超级不通顺。彼得不抽烟。还是我要从这里面找？但是我在这里也没办法推啊。
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
这个我刚刚明明就用过了。很奇怪，很奇怪。最后再试试剪辑，如果还不行的话，我今天先到这好了。有点晕的这个画面。应该是警局这边有什么
Mr. Holmes? At your service, Mr. Holmes. At your service, Mr. Holmes.
对啊，
Mr. Holmes?
那个一直转，微晕。这边需要证据，那边也需要证据，我要去哪里找证据？难道是这里吗？啊，这里可能有解剖它吗？第三人称吗？他有时候会那个，也不太晕，因为有时候 GTA 也会蛮晕的。
Locked.
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong. What am I doing here? What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
好吧，那我们先点在这好了。下次看那个突破口在哪里。